Welcome back to my channel. I'm Dan, the Financial Guy, here to help you reach your personal finance goals. Today, we're going to help you take a look at the first steps toward creating a budget. The first step to making your budget is to review your income and expenses. Evaluating your monthly income as it relates to your monthly expenses is a crucial step to understanding your personal finances. Look first at your monthly income. I'm going to be using my free budget template to guide you through this process. My budget template is linked in the description below, so feel free to download it and walk through these steps with me. Input your projected monthly income in the yellow highlighted box. If the nature of your work is that your income varies from month to month, input a conservative average estimate. And remember that this amount should be your take-home pay. Next, move to your monthly expenses. Start with your fixed expenses. Any expense that you know will be the same every month is a fixed expense, such as your rent or mortgage, your car payment, or any other fixed expenses you may have. Next, move to your variable expenses. You can estimate these expenses or track your spending for a month to get a good feel for the amount of money you typically spend in each of these areas. After you're confident that you have accurately accounted for all of your monthly expenses, review your total monthly expenses with your projected monthly income. Is your monthly income greater than your expenses? That's great. You have a budget surplus, and you can use that money to start an emergency fund, build your savings, or invest toward your financial independence. Are your expenses greater than your income? You have a budget deficit, and that's not good. However, now that you know this is the case, you can evaluate your spending habits and get back on the right track. The second step in developing your budget is to distinguish between wants and needs. Do you need to buy the latest smartphone when it's released? Or does your current phone still work just fine and you just want a new one? Do you need a new car? Or do you just want to keep up with your friend who happened to buy a new car as well? Whether you're running a budget deficit or a surplus, there's a great benefit to going through the exercise of evaluating your spending habits and distinguishing between your wants and needs. To illustrate, let's look at a potential budget. Here I filled in a projected take-home pay of $3,000 per month and filled out monthly expenses as well, including a rent of $1,000 per month, a $300 per month car payment, a 10% giving of $300 per month, and a variety of other variable expenses. The sum of these monthly expenses is $2,790, which is less than our monthly income of $3,000 per month. The projected income minus expenses shows that we have a $210 per month budget surplus. This gives us a projected surplus of $2,500 per year, and that's not too bad. However, as you'll see, by trimming our budget in some areas, I think we can do a little better and increase that surplus. To do that, we'll think hard about what we really need and compromise on some of the things we want. A few of the categories that I've identified as wants and as areas where we can reduce our spending is fuel, movies, date nights, restaurants, and fun. To reduce fuel, maybe you can bike more or walk places to save 1 tank of gas per month. For the movie category, maybe you can go to 1 movie per month instead of 2 movies per month. For date nights, maybe you can commit to having more stay-in date nights instead of expensive dinners or other activities. For the restaurant category, maybe you can commit to cutting the number of restaurant visits in half and use your groceries to cook more at home. For the fun category, maybe you can commit to doing some fun things you already have around the house, like reading a book or playing a board game. By making some simple adjustments and trimming out some of the wants, you can see that we've significantly reduced our expenses while still maintaining a good quality of life. Implementing these ideas into our new budget nets an additional $235 per month in a budget surplus compared to the original budget. And we only looked at our variable expenses and trimmed very reasonably. We didn't even look at the potential of reducing our car payment or rent, which are two of the largest expenses, or look at some extremes like completely eliminating a category like fun or restaurants altogether. The revised budget, you can see, has a surplus of over $5,000 per year, which is twice as much of a surplus as the original budget. I hope going through this exercise has shown you the power of budgeting and distinguishing between wants and needs to maximize your budget surplus. It is a very important foundational step to your financial independence. Okay, now that we've finished your budget, the third important step is to implement that and track your spending. This is especially important as you begin to follow your budget, or if it's the first time you've done a budget, to ensure that you are on track with your spending every month, meeting your goals, and not falling back into potential old habits. If you're using my budget template, just enter your expenses as you incur them on each day that you spend for a particular category. The template will keep track of your total spending for each category as long as you track them. Do this for the full month. Review it at the end of the month to see what areas you went over budget or were under budget and evaluate why. Did you take a long road trip and that's why your fuel category was over budget this month? Did you eat out too much and overspend your restaurant budget? Well, that's okay. Reevaluate your projected spending for each category as you proceed until you're comfortable with your plan. And remember that the goal is to maximize your surplus, but also not at the expense of wringing out all of your joy and fun out of your life too. Of course, as I already mentioned, don't forget to take advantage of my free budget template that I used here today. That resource is linked down in the description below. I hope that you've seen the power of budgeting and you see the tip of the iceberg for how it can help begin you on your path toward meeting your personal finance goals or toward your financial independence. If you liked this video or learned something from it, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any other of my videos. Thank you for watching. This is Dan the Financial Guy, and I will catch you next time.